Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is living in their best life, and if you're not, please do something today to put you on the path to living your best life. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a vegetable pot pie. All the ingredients will be listed down below in the description box, so let's get started. So I am just using some pie crust that I bought at the grocery store. If you can, find some that is deep dish. I have a stick of butter, then you have some all-purpose flour, some minced garlic, I use 2 teaspoons of that by the way, some vegetable broth, about a half a cup to a cup of onions, some green onions or some scallions, whatever you want to call it, half of a jalapeno pepper, some chopped up baby bella mushrooms, a can of chickpeas, some carrots, about a cup of that or half a cup, some frozen broccoli, and some celery. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started with a roux. So go ahead and melt your stick of butter. And if you don't have butter, a good substitute would just be margarine, and you can just use a half a cup. We are going to be making 2 pies today, so that's why I'm using so much butter. So allow that butter to melt down, but don't allow it to cook just yet. And then once the butter looks like it's all the way melted down, go ahead and add in your flour. For a traditional roux, you would like to have half butter, half flour. So since it was a half a cup of butter, add about a half a cup of flour. I am just adding this in by eyeballing it because there's barely any flour left in the bag. So I just decided to use the rest of what I have. And in a roux, do not let the flour burn. So in my head, I've never gone to culinary art school, none of that stuff. But in my head, when I'm thinking about cooking a roux, I'm thinking as if I'm frying the flour, which I might be doing because you want it to get to like a certain brown color, and you can make it into a darker roux if you want to. But my goal here was to get it into like a tan into dark brown type of color. So what you want to do to make sure it doesn't burn is just constantly stir it. Once you've turned the roux into a nice brown color, go ahead and add in your onions. So I am using frozen onions, so this was a little bit difficult for me to just like break apart the little mound of ice basically. But what you want to do is, if you have fresh onions, just go ahead and add those in and allow it to brown. And then go ahead and add in half a jalapeno. You're not going to really taste the jalapeno. I just tried out something new when I was making this. And you're not going to really taste the jalapeno. It's not going to give you like a immediate spice, you know, your mouth isn't going to start burning. But I feel like it did, I guess, make it a more well-rounded flavor. Because in the past, I've never used jalapeno or like spice when it comes to making vegetable pot pie. I kept it extremely basic with just the celery, carrots, broccoli, stuff like that. And I decided to try something new this time, but it didn't add like a immediate spice. It just kept it nice and savory. And then you want to go ahead and add in 2 tablespoons of your minced garlic and just stir that into the whole mixture and allow that to cook down for about 5 to 10 minutes. and now add in the rest of your veggies except for the scallions / green onions. Alright, and now go ahead and stir that into the roux. Alright, and then go ahead and add 2 to 4 cups of veggie broth. Alright, and then the seasonings I'm using are parsley flakes, thyme, basil leaves, bay leaves, black pepper, and Himalayan pink salt. So I'm adding 4 bay leaves into there, but what I would recommend before you do this, add in the rest of your seasonings and then go ahead and stir it, and then add in the bay leaves, and don't stir that into the pot at all. So then when it comes time for you to pour all the mixture into the pie crust, it will be easy to take out the bay leaves, because I was searching for the missing bay leaf. I was able to get 3 out, but I lost that one. And I didn't find it again until I started eating the pot pie. And you don't want that to happen. A bay leaf is really hard to chew. So just learn from that. And then go ahead and add in your green onions and scallions. Alright, and then just give that about 10 to 15 minutes to allow all the seasonings to do their job. And then after about 10 to 15 minutes, just go ahead and check to see if the sauce is actually a sauce or if it's more like a soup. If it was like me and it was more like a soup, just go ahead and add in half a teaspoon of cornstarch and now thicken everything up. Go ahead and fill the pies. So I recommend having a deep dish pie crust instead of a traditional because you're able to get way more filling inside the pie crust. In today's recipe, I had about a Tupperware, a small to medium sized Tupperware left over, when usually I only have a little bit left to put over rice. So yeah, if you can, go ahead and find the deep dish. And then go ahead and just move around all the vegetables, make sure every little area has a vegetable. If not, just dip into your leftovers and go ahead and fill in the empty spaces. But make sure that the vegetables are flat enough so then when you do put on the pie covering or the top pie crust, there's not any weird bulges from the vegetables. Alright, and then go ahead and poke some holes at the top. This allows, when it's in the oven, for all the steam to release in the middle from the pie filling. You don't want it to be too steamy or the crust is going to end up soggy as opposed to nice and crisp. And let it cook at 450 for 30 minutes. Alright, so this part is optional. When it's out of the oven, you can go ahead and add a little bit of garlic butter to the crust. Alright, and I would recommend waiting about 20 minutes to allow it to cool down, because once you allow it to cool down, it'll come out much cleaner. So with that being said, this is the end of the video. I hope that all you guys really enjoyed it, and if you did try it out or you're going to try it out, make sure you leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. With that being said, peace, love, and light to you all.